Walk into any auto parts store and you'll see dozens of different motor oils. 0W-20, 5W-30, 5W-40, 10W-30. The list goes on forever. And everyone's got an opinion on which one is best for your Mazda. The guy at the parts store says 5W-30 is better than 0W-20 because it's thicker and protects better. Your buddy swears by 5W-40 because he read on a forum that it reduces oil consumption. Your mechanic says stick with what the manual says, which is 0W-20. So who's right? Here's the thing, nobody's actually testing these claims. It's all just opinions, theories, and forum arguments with zero real data. Until now. We took a 2018 Mazda CX-5 with the 2.5-liter Skyactiv engine and ran it with 3 different oil viscosities, 0W-20, 5W-30, and 5W-40. Same car, same driving conditions, same oil brand and quality level. The only variable, the viscosity. We measured fuel economy, engine temperatures, oil pressure, wear metals in the oil, and even did a borescope inspection of the cylinders. And the results, they surprised even us. One oil was clearly the winner, one caused measurable harm, and one was somewhere in between. Today, I'm sharing the complete results of our real-world Mazda oil viscosity test. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which oil to use in your Mazda and why all the internet experts are wrong. Let's get into it. The test setup, how we made it fair. Before we dive into results, let me explain how we made this test as scientific and fair as possible. The car, 2018 Mazda CX-5 with a 2.5-liter Skyactiv G engine, 78,000 miles on the odometer, well-maintained with full service records. The oils, we use the same brand and quality level for all 3 tests. Mobile 1, extended performance full synthetic. The only difference was the viscosity, 0W-20, 5W-30, and 5W-40. The test period, we ran each oil for 3,000 miles. That's long enough to see real-world effects, but short enough to switch oils multiple times. The driving, we kept the driving conditions as consistent as possible. Same driver, same routes, mix of 60% highway and 40% city driving. We tracked every mile. The measurements, we measured fuel economy, calculated manually, not using the car's computer, oil pressure at idle, and at 3,000 revolutions per minute using an OBD2 scanner with oil pressure data, engine oil temperature, and coolant temperature. Oil analysis. At the end of each 3,000-mile test, we sent an oil sample to Blackstone Labs for analysis. This shows wear metals, fuel dilution, and oil condition. Visual inspection. After all 3 tests, we used a borescope camera to inspect the cylinder walls and piston tops for wear or carbon buildup. This wasn't just a feel test. We collected hard data, and the results were eye-opening. Test number 1, 0W-20 factory spec. We started with 0W-20 because that's what Mazda recommends for this engine. Here's what we found after 3,000 miles. Fuel economy, 28.4 miles per gallon combined. That's right in line with EPA estimates and what the previous owner reported. Oil pressure at idle, hot engine, 18 pounds per square inch. This is normal for 0W-20 in a Skyactiv engine at operating temperature. Oil pressure at 3,000 revolutions per minute, 45 pounds per square inch. Again, perfectly normal. Engine temperatures. Oil temp averaged 210 degrees Fahrenheit during normal driving. Coolant temp stayed at 195 degrees Fahrenheit. Both are exactly where they should be. Oil analysis results. Iron, 8 parts per million. Aluminum, 2 parts per million. Copper, 3 parts per million. Silicon, 6 parts per million. These are all excellent numbers showing minimal wear. Fuel dilution, 1.2%, which is normal for mixed driving. TBN, total base number, which measures how much life is left in the oil, 6.8 out of 10. The oil still had plenty of life left at 3,000 miles. Subjective feel, The engine ran smooth and quiet. Acceleration felt responsive. No unusual noises or vibrations. So far, 0W-20 is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The engine is happy, fuel economy is good, and wear is minimal. But let's see how the thicker oils compare. If you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice for my Mazda guys. Test number 2, 5W-30, the better protection oil. Next, we drained the 0W-20 and filled it with 5W-30. This is the oil that guys on forums swear by. It's thicker, so it protects better. 0W-20 is too thin. You need 5W-30 for real protection. Let's see what the data says. Fuel economy, 27.6 miles per gallon combined. That's 0.8 miles per gallon worse than 0W-20. Over 3,000 miles, that's about 4 extra gallons of gas. At $3.50 per gallon, you just spent an extra $14 on fuel. Oil pressure at idle. Hot engine, 22 pounds per square inch. About 4 pounds per square inch higher than 0W-20. Makes sense. Thicker oil creates more pressure. Oil pressure at 3,000 revolutions per minute, 52 pounds per square inch. Also higher than 0W-20, but still well within safe range. Engine temperatures. Here's where it gets interesting. Oil temperature averaged 215 degrees Fahrenheit, about 5 degrees hotter than with 0W-20. Coolant temp stayed the same at 195 degrees Fahrenheit. Why is the oil hotter? Because thicker oil creates more internal friction. The engine has to work harder to pump it through the system. That extra work generates heat. Oil analysis results: iron, 11 parts per million; aluminum, 3 parts per million; copper, 4 parts per million; silicon, 7 parts per million. Wait a minute. Wear metals are slightly higher with 5W-30 than with 0W-20. If thicker oil is supposed to protect better, why is there more wear? Here's why. Skyactiv engines have tight tolerances. They're designed for low viscosity oil like 0W-20. When you use thicker oil, it doesn't flow as quickly to critical areas during cold starts. That brief delay means more metal-on-metal contact before the oil gets there. Fuel dilution, 1.4%, slightly higher than 0W-20. TBN, 7.1 out of 10. The oil held up slightly better, but not enough to matter. Subjective feel. The engine felt slightly less responsive during acceleration. Not a huge difference, but noticeable if you're paying attention. Cold starts were slightly noisier for the first few seconds. So 5W-30 gave us worse fuel economy, slightly higher wear metals, and higher oil temperatures. But at least oil pressure was higher, right? Here's the thing. Higher oil pressure doesn't necessarily mean better protection. This engine was designed to run at 18 pounds per square inch at idle. Forcing it to 22 pounds per square inch doesn't help anything. It just wastes energy. Test number 3, 5W-40, the heavy-duty oil. Now, for the controversial one, 5W-40. This is what some people run in high-mileage Mazdas or turbocharged models. The idea is that the thicker oil will reduce oil consumption and provide extra protection under high loads. Let's see if that theory holds up. Fuel economy, 26.8 miles per gallon combined. That's 1.6 miles per gallon worse than 0W-20. Over 3,000 miles, that's about 8 extra gallons of gas, costing roughly $28. Oil pressure at idle. Hot engine, 28 pounds per square inch, significantly higher than factory spec. The engine is working hard to push this thick oil through the system. Oil pressure at 3,000 revolutions per minute, 58 pounds per square inch. Again, much higher than needed. Engine temperatures. Oil temp averaged 220 degrees Fahrenheit, a full 10 degrees hotter than with 0W-20. Coolant temp crept up slightly to 198 degrees Fahrenheit. This is concerning. Higher oil temps mean the oil degrades faster and provides less protection, even though it's thicker. Oil analysis results: iron, 14 parts per million; aluminum, 4 parts per million, copper, 5 parts per million, silicon, 9 parts per million. These are the highest wear numbers we saw in all 3 tests. Let me say that again. The thickest oil produced the most wear. Why? Because 5W-40 is way too thick for this engine. It doesn't flow properly through the tight clearances in the Skyactiv engine, especially during cold starts. By the time the oil reaches critical areas like the camshafts and valve train, there's already been metal-on-metal contact. Fuel dilution, 1.8%. This is higher than both other oils, likely because the engine had to work harder and run richer to overcome the thick oil's resistance. TBN, 7.4 out of 10. Yes, the oil lasted slightly longer chemically, but that doesn't matter when it's causing more wear. Subjective feel. The engine felt noticeably sluggish during acceleration. Cold starts were louder and rougher. The engine took longer to smooth out after starting. Honestly, it felt like the car was fighting against itself. The borescope inspection results. After all 3 tests were complete, we did a borescope inspection to look inside the cylinders. This tells us if any of the oils caused visible wear, scoring, or carbon buildup. Here's what we found. Cylinder walls. All 4 cylinders looked excellent. No scoring, no scratches, no unusual wear patterns. The crosshatch pattern from the factory honing was still visible. This tells us that 3,000 miles with each oil wasn't enough to cause visible damage, even with the thicker oils. Piston tops, minimal carbon buildup on all pistons. This is normal for a direct injection engine with 78,000 miles. Valves. No unusual deposits or carbon buildup beyond what you'd expect for the mileage. So while the oil analysis showed higher wear metals with thicker oils, we didn't see catastrophic damage in the visual inspection. That's good news. It means if you accidentally used the wrong oil for 3,000 miles, you probably didn't destroy your engine. But it also means the wear is happening at a microscopic level that builds up over time. Use the wrong oil for 30,000 miles or 60,000 miles, and that's when you'll see real problems. The clear winner, 0W-20. Let's lay out the results side by side. Fuel economy. 0W-20 wins at 28.4 miles per gallon. 5W-30 got 27.6 miles per gallon. 5W-40 got 26.8 miles per gallon. Wear metals, lower is better. 0W-20 wins with the lowest iron, aluminum, and copper levels. 5W-30 was in the middle. 5W-40 had the highest wear. Oil temperature, lower is better. 0W-20 wins at 210 degrees Fahrenheit average. 5W-30 was 215 degrees Fahrenheit. 5W-40 was 220 degrees Fahrenheit. Engine responsiveness. 0W-20 felt the best. The engine was smooth, quiet, and responsive. Cost. 0W-20 saves money on fuel. Over the course of a year, that adds up to real savings. The winner is clear. 0W-20, the factory recommended oil, performed the best in every category that matters. Better fuel economy, lower wear, lower temperatures, better engine feel. It's not even close. Why thicker isn't better, despite what forums say. So why do so many people on forums and in parts stores recommend thicker oil? Because they're stuck in the past. 20 or 30 years ago, engines had looser tolerances. Thicker oil like 10W-30 or 10W-40 was needed to fill those gaps and maintain oil pressure. But modern engines, especially Mazda's Skyactiv engines, are built completely differently. Tighter tolerances, variable valve timing, direct injection, high compression ratios. These engines need thin, fast-flowing oil to reach critical areas quickly, especially during cold starts. Thicker oil simply can't do that job as well. And here's the irony. People use thicker oil thinking they're protecting their engine better, but they're actually causing more wear. The data doesn't lie. When thicker oil might make sense now, there are a few exceptions where thicker oil might be appropriate. High mileage engines with worn bearings, If your engine has 200,000 plus miles and you're hearing bearing noise or low oil pressure warnings, slightly thicker oil might help band-aid the problem temporarily. But that's not a fix. That's just buying time until you rebuild or replace the engine. Extreme heat climates. If you live in the desert where ambient temps regularly hit 115 degrees Fahrenheit plus, you might see slightly better protection from 5W-30 instead of 0W-20. But even then, the difference is minimal. Modern 0W-20 oils are designed to handle high heat, track use, or heavy towing. If you're taking your Mazda to the track or towing near its max capacity regularly, 5W-30 might provide a tiny bit of extra protection under sustained high loads. But for 99% of Mazda owners doing normal street driving, these exceptions don't apply. Stick with 0W-20. What about oil consumption? One argument people make for thicker oil is that it reduces oil consumption. My car burns oil with 0W-20, but when I switched to 5W-30, it stopped. Here's the truth. If your engine is burning oil, thicker oil might mask the symptom temporarily, but it's not fixing the problem. Oil consumption means you have worn piston rings, worn valve seals, or excessive blow-by. Using thicker oil to hide that problem is like putting a piece of tape over your check engine light. The underlying issue is still there, and it's getting worse. If your Mazda is burning more than a quart of oil between changes, get it diagnosed properly. Don't just throw thicker oil at it and hope it goes away. The bottom line: trust the engineers, not the forums. Mazda spent millions of dollars and thousands of hours engineering the Skyactiv engine. They tested it in every climate, under every driving condition, with every possible oil viscosity. And they determined that 0W-20 is the optimal oil for this engine, not 5W-30, not 5W-40, not 10W-30. 0W-20. Our real-world test confirmed it. The data backs it up. Better fuel economy, lower wear, lower temperatures, better performance. So why would you use anything else? Because some guy on a forum said so? Because the parts store employee recommended it? Here's my advice. Trust the engineers who designed your engine, not random opinions on the internet. Use 0W-20 full synthetic that meets Mazda's specifications. Change it every 5,000 miles, and your engine will run strong for 200,000, 300,000 miles or more. It's that simple. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.